As you guys already know, the Rumble Fruit got a major rework in this update and is now called the Lightning Fruit. The fruit's been out for a couple of days now, and I've learned everything about the fruit to show you guys how to properly use it. We're going to be going over what the fruit does, how to use the fruit, the best stats to use, the best builds, races, and combos to use, and even a lot of extra information you want to know, like how long the cooldowns are. But first off, let's start off with the showcase. Yo, quick reminder y'all, I did make a Discord server. A lot of y'all were asking for it, so here it is. Make sure you join and let's get this server active. I think everyone already knows what all the moves are, so I'm going to make the showcase pretty quick. Starting off with the M1, you shoot out little beams of lightning. Nothing much. It also has no cooldown, so you can use it as much as you want, and it has basically zero end lag on it as well, so you won't stun yourself. It does stun opponents, but only for a very short frame, so it's still pretty useless. Its damage and range is also very low. It does about 200 damage per tick, but there's really no point of using this at all. Next, we got the Z move called Lightning Orb. This move has 3 versions, being Z1, Z2, and Z3. For the first variation, Z1, you throw one of the lightning orbs on your back at your opponent, and it does have auto tracking, so you don't need to aim on them, just pretty close. You can activate the second version, or Z2, by holding the move slightly longer and you'll see the orb get bigger. Now the auto tracking is also gone when you use Z2, but if you land near your enemy, it will still expand and blow up. Now for the third version, Z3, you actually have to use 2 orbs instead of 1, and Z3 itself has 2 different versions. The first when you land it on someone, and the second if you don't land it. For Z3's first version to work, you also will need 400 mastery on lightning, as well as having the capacitor overload quest complete on the admin panel. Once you have that done, you can now grab players with your lightning dragon and do a flashy combo, or use the second version Z3, which all you need to do is just throw miss and you will throw the lightning dragon at them instead. The damage changes from all Z1 to Z2 is huge, but going to Z3 is not that much bigger. Z1 doing about 2,100 damage, Z2 doing 3,200, and Z3 doing 3,500 damage. You are very vulnerable while charging up your Z move due to lag, so I wouldn't use Z2 and Z3 all that often compared to Z1. Let's talk about Lightning F. The move got a buff, and now you have 4 dashes instead of 3. But it shares the orbs with your Z move, so now you need to manage them better. If you use Z too many times, you can't use F, and if you use F too many times, you can't use Z. But you're way better off using the orbs for the F move compared to the Z move. Moving on to Lightning X, you throw down a thunderstorm and that's basically it. Definitely looks much better than the pre-work version though. However, Lightning C is much different. The same concept is there, but it's a completely different move now. It has more AoE but less range, and this is a really cool move now. But for Lightning V, this is a weird one. It's great on the ground for sure, but it has no air hitbox, so it just phases through people. Let's talk about how to Kentrick Lightning. You can Kentrick Z1 automatically by leaving your Ken on. The Z2 grab can be canned, but the explosion will just break it, so there's no point of Kentricking it. The grab version of Z3 is fully Kentrickable, but the last hit will break your Ken, so I would not Kentrick this move because it does barely any damage and also takes away 4 of your dodges. However, the throw version of Z3 is not Kentrickable at all. The X move, as expected, is not Kentrickable either, and in the air it just won't hit you at all unless you throw one of your lightning orbs inside. When it strikes you in the air, it's still not Kentrickable then. The C move is completely Kentrickable, and the V move cannot be Kentricked at all. If you care about the F move, you can Kentrick it by leaving your Ken on. One interesting thing to note is that the upgraded X move is actually bugged right now, and enemies can't see it at all. I'm sure all of you know and have seen all the new lightning colors already, but I managed to get my hands on all 3 of the colors, so let's make a very quick showcase on them. Now that we are done with all the showcasing, we can finally move on to the PvP aspect of the video. Because Rumble's moves work very well on the ground but are very weak in the sky, I mean literally the only move that works in the sky is the C move, and it's fully Kentrickable. So I'm going to recommend to go with Sword main stats. This way you aren't being countered by those who go into the air a lot, and there's a couple of builds you can use with Lightning, but the first build I'm going to recommend is going to be Sanguine Heart, Lightning, Dragon Heart, and Soul Guitar. This build really excels in the sky as well as the ground, and because Rumble Sea has a much higher vertical hitbox than you can see, we're going to use this to our advantage with this build. The combo we're going to be using here is Sanguine C, Dragonheart Z, Rumble C, Sanguine X, Z, and Dragonheart X. Let's take a look at how I use this build in PvP. For build number 2, we're still going to be using sword stats and basically the same thing. However, instead of Dragonheart, we're going to be using Shark Anchor. The combo is Sanguine C, Anchor X, Z, Solitar X, Rumble C, Sanguine Z, Sanguine X. Let's get right back to PvP. Let's take a break from PvP builds and talk about what accessories and races to use. Generally, I would only recommend you use either Draco or Gold, since these two have been the best races in the game for the last couple of months and still dominate with basically every fruit. As to accessories, you have a couple of options here. The first is Swung Glasses. Use this for a balanced build, you can't really go wrong with it. The second is Leviathan Shield. Use this for wars or to be more tanky. And the third I recommend is Kitsune Ribbon. Use this if you either don't want to use the other two accessories or if you want a bit more speed. It also has a faster flash step cooldown, so that's also a good bonus. The next build we're going to use is Sanguine Lightning Yama Sogatar. This is the only fruit main build I would recommend using with this fruit. Our combo is going to be Sanguine C, Yama X, Lightning C, Lightning V, Sanguine X, Z. Let's get straight back to PvP now. that's all there is to this PvP guide. But if you enjoyed this video, I suggest you watch this video on the left where me and 8 other bounty hunters take on the abusive admin Zeolas, or watch this video on the right where I show you how to completely remove Draco before his aura on Bloxfruits.